Hey, this is Laura. Um, Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be talking about, an actress that you don't know, that you're not familiar with, but, and I know, and you probably know it because you probably just saw my recent video I put of hers, last month because of, as a video to remember the day she had died and all that. But this video, I'm going to be talking to her again, but this time I'm going to be talking about like her career, like from the time she was famous to the time she had quit Hollywood. And then I'm going to be also talk about, how I became a fan of her, like when I discovered her, and what was the first movie of hers I watched, and what movies of hers I recommend you watch, especially if you're a fan of the horror films from the golden age of Hollywood. And so this is also gave me this idea was my friend Cammy Flonour, whose YouTube channel is called Classes and Casses. She's a big fan of this woman too, and she also loves old films too. So hey, this is gonna be an classic actress that you need to know. And her name is Deanna Durbin. Deanna Durbin was born December 4th, 1921 in Winnipeg, Canada. And also, as she was active during years from 1936 to 1948. She is known as the highest paid female actress in the world because she had saved Universal Studios from bankruptcy due to the popularity of her films. When she was 50, she had made her first film called Three Smart Girls, and you should watch it. There was, and Harry Coster, who was a director, felt that she would be great for the role of Penny Craig. And also around the same time that she had made Three Smart Girls, she also auditioned for the voice of Snow White, but Walt Disney thought that her voice didn't sound too good enough for Snow White. But I would have loved it either way. And also, I also heard that there were quite a few films that she had auditioned for, but she turned them down. She had turned down Wizard of Oz, as Dorothy, because they was, truth is Universal really wanted to see her in this like birthday summer movie, but she really wanted her friend Judy Garland, who she had screen tested in the short film called Every Sunday. She wanted her friend Judy Garland to have that role because she felt Judy was perfect for it. And she had, she really wanted to play, she was interested in playing roles of like Girl Next Door, or I was told that she really was interested in playing like characters like a sultry woman or a woman, Lord Jesus. She was really interested in playing those roles, but Universal really didn't want those for her. They wanted to see her more in the musicals or and like having lucky films. And Also when she was her first, she had first screen tested with Jigo in the short film called Every Sunday, where, and it's adorable. It's a clip of them. You can watch it on YouTube. It's a clip of them singing this so-called Americana, and also, I was also told that she had turned down the roles of, Eliza Doolittle on Broadway, and she just didn't make it films like that. And then also she had made 21 films, and also and then it was like and then 1948, after she had made her last film called For the Love of Mary, she was completely done, and then she had moved to France, and her third husband, who named Felix Jackson, he really wanted to marry her, but actually that was Charles David, who was her third husband. He wanted to marry her, and then she said she would only marry him if he had promised her that she wouldn't have to go back to being a Hollywood actress, because she was so fed up with it. She wasn't interested in the Hollywood life anymore, and she just wanted to live a normal life away from the paparazzi. And then George, from those times, that she had grew up, her movies were made during like years of like Great Depression. And I was also told too that that Anne Frank, who used to write diaries, she had a picture of Deanna on her bedroom wall when the Nazi invasion happened, and not only that, she also had pictures of other movie stars on her bedroom wall when the Nazi invasion happened, because she said that they were just a way to keep her company when all the bad stuff was going on. And I get that, because I think it's great to have pictures of him of your favorite famous person on your wall, just to like keep you company while even when bad stuff is happening. And so I heard, if any of you who live in England, there's a museum that has a display of Anne Frank's bedroom wall, and I'm sure if you go there, you'll probably see a picture of Deanna on her wall. I hope you do. And so the editor is known as Winnipeg's sweetheart, because because so many people have fallen in love with her films. And also in 1930, she also performed at the Eddie Cantor show, who we just fell in love with, though she was charming. And then if you watch her film called Three Smart Girls, which was her first film, he had something to say about her, when the credits go up, like introduction to the movie. And then during that same time, she had performed at the Eddie Cantor show. She had performed some songs for her films, or people would love to see it. And also I just and then that's wonderful that I think it's wonderful that she was the highest paid actress next to Betty Davis, because she had saved Universal from bankruptcy. And also there was it's like, and if you watch her films like Lady on a Train and Christmas Holiday, I think she plays more like a soldier who woman at nightclub, and it's true. I think she does so good at that, playing those roles, even though those were the only two that Universal had her to play that kind of role. And and then also after she made a role, and then she moved to Apartment and friends with her husband Charles David, and then also that she has two kids. She she have her first husband Felix Jackson, and Jessica, and Peter H. David she had from her third husband Charles him David, and so Deanna Durbin thought of herself as a great singer than a actress, and was and then and so now you get to hear the story of how I discovered her, and what what was the first film of hers I watched, all that. So here it goes. So when I was 12 years old back in 2006, me and my mom and sister, we went to our local library here in Chesapeake, where I live, because we were looking for some good old films to watch, and we love old films because my mom and her brothers and sisters, they grew up in the 60s and 80s and Taiwan, and so I was looking for something good to watch, and then I was going on the shelf and I saw something in pink that said Deanna Durbin Sweetheart Pack, which is, I have a copy of it right here, and as soon as I saw this, I said to myself, well, wow, this looks interesting, and I read the back of it, and how it contained 6 of her best movies. So I checked it out, and I took it home, and the first movie I watched from this was Something in the Wind, and then so I watched it, and I went all the way to the end, and then I just fell completely in love with it. Something in the Wind was my first Durbin movie I had watched, and and not only that, I fell completely in love with it. I was like, wow, this girl is so good. And not only that, but we watched the other movies that were included in this collection. Well, my mom loved It Started With Eve and First Love, and she just felt those two, and she also my sister, Lady on a Train, and I loved Something in the Wind and K-Hope. I just, just love this girl. And then it was and then this was the only thing that my local libraries had in their system, and I just, as years passed, I kept doing, wishing that they had her other films and stuff. So it took about years, I guess, before they even had more of her films in their system, and they do now. They have 16 of them, and also some we will watch online, we watched online. So, and and my mom loved her, I love her, and we're just in love with Bruce, and so, and now you get and also when I watched Something the way I love the songs that she was singing in it, called It's Solely Love. Something in the Wind, which was the title of the movie, and I love that part where she was singing the song called You Want to Keep Your Baby Looking Right, and part where she's at the fashion show and she slaps John Dell says, I'm insanely jealous. Well, I just, and so now here, I'm going to give you more recommendations that I think you will like of her. And so, here they are. I'm going to, movies of hers I recommend you try. Something in the Wind, Can't Help Singing, Lady on a Train, First Love, It Started with Eve, Mad About Music, His Butler Sister, Hers to Hold, I'll Be Yours, It's a Date, and Because of Him, and For the Love of Mary. Those are so good. They're my favorite. They're my favorite ones. I have so I hope you'll give them a try and let me know which one you enjoy the most. So I'm gonna tell you my top 3, and I'll give you a little storyline of each one, so you can see which way you think will sound interesting, which way you think you'll enjoy the most. My number 1 is Something in the Wind. This is an adorable little story. Her parents have died. Her name, and this was she is named Mary Collins, and she has an aunt with the same name, and so she is a sponsor on a radio station, and so while at her job she meets Donald Ray, played by John Dow, who tries to accuse her of, because they think that he and his family think that she's had a relationship with the recently deceased head of the family, which was the grandfather. But then, not knowing all this, her aunt explains that it was actually her that had a relationship with the grandfather, and he had sent her checks, even because she was a governess for his family for many years. And then the thing is, Dalray and his cousin Charles, played by the one and only Donald O'Connor from Singing in the Rain, they kidnapped her after they go to her radio station where she sees a so-called happy-go-lucky and free. And then they kidnap her, and then they keep her in their house until the matter is settled, and until they pay her any reasonable amount. But then she starts getting up a little way into, she thinks of a way that she can get out of this situation, knowing that she never knew the grandfather or had a relationship with her. And then and so this also has her singing Amazing Souls. It also, and there's even Doll Carter sees a wonderful number called I Love a Mystery in this. And she and then it was like, and then the thing was, Charles has a girlfriend who recently is in love with Donald, and he recently marries Donald because he tries to marry Donald, I guess because he's rich and all that. And then the thing is, he's tried, and so Mary thinks of a plan. What she thinks, that as long as she stays around, that this girl will walk out, and so that Charles can have her, because he's the one who's really in love with her. And so and then also, then Charles, after they leave the fashion show, Charles advises Donald to make love to Mary, and so he tries to avoid her, but yes, he ever does. But in the scene where they're on the balcony, they he actually does fall in love with her, and then he forgets that that she ever knew his grandfather or not, and that he doesn't want to have to explain anything to the lawyers, and so she, so she so they fall in love at night, and then also, and then a little while she goes back home to her aunt Mary, and she tells him that he's um that her job has called, and one know if she'd be interested in going to New York. I mean, sponsored, but actually she doesn't make her right. I mean, she actually goes, but then Charles Whittaker, who plays the uncle, Chester, has her arrested because he didn't want her to walk out on them without any explanation. So when she's in prison, she explains it to him, and then her aunt settles matters with the grandmother. It tells her the whole truth of what they want to know, and then also, and I love how at the end it was like when she's on a TV show, it's like after, when she sings the Heaven Go Let Free, and then the orchestra actually plays her song called Something in the Wind, and then she and Donald kiss. So give that one a look. And so, hey, my next one that I think you should try is Can't Help Singing. This was her only movie in Technicolor. And also, and it's wonderful. It's got her singing. So what happens in this is that this lieutenant named Robert Latham, played by David Bruce, he actually lowered her. She loves him, so she goes out west to travel for him, even while she's supposed to sing for the president, but she really doesn't want to. So she pretends to be sick, and then that she heads west to look after him, and then but then she meets this other young man named Johnny, and then also she lies that she's some other man's wife, just so that he can help her get back home. But then then it was like, but more she's with Johnny, she kind of forgets about Lieutenant Latham, about love with her, and then it was like, and then the part where Lieutenant Latham arrives at her house, and then she tells her that she tries to tell her that she's actually in love with Johnny, and then her father shows up because he's trying to get back at her, so that he's on the side of this new man, and then so they try to fight out things, and then at the end, she and Johnny get married. I love the soul she sees in this, and so give that one a shot too. Next one is my third one that you should try is It Started With You. This is a cute one too. In fact, this was my mom's favorite. So you have Deanna working at a hotel as a co-check girl, and then she meets Robert Cummings, who has a sick father about to die, and it'd be good, and that he has had to move home because he he's had to, you know, to make a rush back home because he's heard that his father has had a heart attack and that he's been out of town. And so and then the thing was his father, as if he could meet his son's fiance before he died, so his actual fiance is you know, is not at the hotel that he walks into. So he tries to like do something best by, so he asked, you know, the co-check girl played by Deanna Durbin to come with him, and then he'll give her $50, and then also, and then the father so having Mary, he believed that his son has picked the right woman this time, even though she's not really his fiance, she just pretends to be. And then while waiting for a moment passed, but then the next day he wakes up, and then also he asked the son if he could see her again. So, you know, but he's afraid that he'll give a father shit that if he finds out that the one played by Deanna Durbin is not his actual fiance, his father will have a stroke. So many times he tries to get his he brings Deanna to the house. You know, it's like the father gets better because of her. And I love this, so she sees it as called Going Home and When I Sing, which is like, if you heard of the Sleeping Beauty song called I Walk With You, It's a Part of Dream, it's kind of similar to that. And so he, you know, after he's gotten better, he says he wants to throw a party for her so that, you know, it's because she loves music and she takes music lessons. But then again, it was like, but then his father, he tries to pretend that he tends to make plans that he and Durbin have broken up, and that they quarrel, and that he's a new love in his life. And then, but she actually doesn't want to go home. She really wants to go to this party to sing for him, even if people will think that she's his fiance. She's not. And then all of a sudden, and the day she turns it down for going to the party, so instead of her coming to the party, he intends to like go someplace with her, like to a nightclub with her where he thinks nobody will know him, but they actually do because they've seen his picture in the paper or they've known him before. And then he asks somebody to let his son know where he is. And so after a while, and I love this part where he and Deanna dance to the conga, and then everybody else who's dancing with it actually stops to watch the both of them, because they're and they laugh at him and they enjoy them because they think they're the best couple that they've seen, or to dance to a number like that. And so when the son and the daughter arrive, they are shocked that they're to see him right in the middle of the dance floor, and actually they're having a good time. And then the son asks him how did he ever get there, and he looks at Deanna and thinks that Deanna was the one that talked him into it, which was not true. She should have explained to him that it was his father that told her and him. And then I love that part that when they're walking up to the table, and then he says to her, he's like, first you taught my father to come over here, and then you got about there at like a 10-year-old, and then you have somebody to phone me just to break up the party, and all after you promised to fix these up, you fixed them all, right? And then she throws the drink in his face and walks out on him because, you know, she's very insulted by him. And then to think that of her. And so then the day after that, she's about to go home again, but then he stops her. Then because he tells her that his dad's had another heart attack and that it's probably gonna be the end this time. But when they come home, when they go back to his house, his father doesn't look like he's had a heart attack at all, or he's, you know, and that he's sitting on the sofa. And they said that it was actually, and then the father shows him the picture that that the photographer took of him and Deanna when they were at the nightclub, and it also says in the newspaper that she's the fiance of his son. And so it was like they're both are shocked at this. And then because, you know, Deanna asked him to like have the picture destroyed, but you know, but the reason why he didn't want them to destroy it is because he really wanted the one who was the actual fiance and her mother to leave. So they went back to, he tells her that as soon as they sold the picture in the paper that they took the first plane back to Mexico City, and that he asked, and then the son asked him, is he trying to marry him and Deanna off? And then he says, good heavens, no, it never occurred to me that y'all would care for each other, do you? And they tell him no. And then they're angry because of what happened last night. Like he's angry at her for throwing the drink in his face, and that she's angry at him for insulting her. But how I wish this story would have been like, how I wish they would have written the story was that even though the girl wants to go back home to her old folks, but then, and even though the guy's engaged to a woman, but I wish they would have had I would have loved to have the story written that he breaks it off with his actual fiance, and that also the girl played by Dan doesn't actually want to go back home. She really wants to stay with the son and his father because the thing is, it seems to be that his father always gets better whenever she's around, and I totally get that. I wish it would have ran that way, but I'm fine with it. And so also, you know, anyway, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. So please watch, you know, the Deanna films I mentioned this video, and also have fun with them. And also, I hope this video encourages you to make a video about how you became a fan of her when you discovered her, and what are your favorite movies of hers. Bye.